What up, everybody? It's your boy A.A. Ron with another episode of First and Faithful. Thank you for tuning in. Before we jump into it, let me do that part where I beg and plead for you to like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, share with your friends, coworkers, all that. Please, 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 please. Really appreciate it. Obviously, I want to grow the channel as much as possible, and obviously, every one of you is the key to that. So, enough with that. Let's jump into it. Jamal Adams wants out of New York, possibly coming to the Niners. Probably not. Maybe, a lot of moving pieces here. Like I said, report on Thursday, he wants out of New York. A combination, I think, of losing. Jets have been not very good since he's come into the league, and money. A couple of questions. There was talk that the Jets were going to do his extension this offseason, get to work on it. COVID hit. There's a lot of questions in the league regarding how that will affect the salary cap. Could be a flat cap. All kinds of issues. One of the issues that's allegedly or supposedly holding up the Kittle contract is how they're going to do the contracts with COVID, flat cap, and that seems to be a big part of the issue with a lot of players and teams just not knowing what the cap is going to be like next season, the season after that, because of COVID, because how it's affected this offseason. So it's definitely affecting not just Kittle, but obviously you see with Jamal Adams, and he's trying to get paid. All players are trying to get paid. I personally have no issue with that. You put your bodies online. It's a short. Most players, it's a very short career. You try to get your money, when you can and as soon as you can, because you just never know. So I understand that. I also understand the front office because they're looking at the bigger picture of the team and how we're going to do contracts going forward and cap, and they have to look at all that. Jamal Adams isn't, he's not concerned with that, and honestly, that's not his job to be concerned with that. So that's, obviously what's led to this. Rich Simony of ESPN, who's been covering the Jets basically forever, was on KMBR yesterday, Friday, and said it would cost at minimum a first rounder for a team to get Adams. It was reported that they asked the Cowboys for a first and 2 second rounders before the trade deadline during the season to get Adams. Obviously, the Cowboys didn't pull the trigger on that. I think the Jets were really trying to make that, an offer you can't refuse kind of thing, where you have to give me everything. An offer I literally cannot refuse at this point. And I think they the proposal was one that they knew either the Cowboys are going to take it and fine. Well, if you're going to give us a first and 2 second rounders, we'll take it. Or Cowboys are going to say no and you move along. You kind of keep Adams as they wanted to do. I think they're trying to build that nucleus. Adams, Darnold. They're trying to build something there, trying to do it through the draft, young, and try and build up. Adams is obviously, should be a big part of that. All pro. He's 25. Should be a great player for the next 5 to 7 years, give or take. So, big part there. Now going back to the Niners, I think when the news broke, everybody was like, oh, because he had mentioned 7 teams he would go to: Ravens, Cowboys, Texans, Chiefs, Eagles, Seahawks, and Niners. So, everybody on Twitter's talking about it, on YouTube, and everybody's, oh my God, man, it'd be a great, great to have Adams on this team, and, with that front 7, and, it would be great from a team perspective. Now comes the moving pieces. Can they extend him? Obviously, they still haven't figured out the Kittle contract, so they need to figure out that. They have a laundry list of free agents, key contributing free agents next going into 2021. Kendrick Bourne, Sherman, Trent Williams, Juice. There's it's like 20 people deep. Quan Williams is on that list. It's a very long list. These are key contributors. These aren't scrubs. You can be like, well, whatever. We'll replace you, easy peasy. So having to figure out an Adams extension there as well, for someone who probably wants to try to reset the market. I don't know how that works. He did mention that he would be willing to hold off on an extension for the right team. So maybe if you're the Niners and you're willing to part, if you think that Jamal Adams can win you a Super Bowl, maybe that the 32nd pick in the first round is worth it for a 1 season rental. If you think you are sure that that will put you over top, that will get you the title, maybe that's worth it for a 1 year rental. I think Jamal is probably looking at the same way. If he can get onto, someone like the Cowboys, they win the title, or a title team, and he plays well, plays up to the level he's been playing, that's only going to increase his value. And then whether he stays with that team, or then he maybe gets his title and then hey, he goes to Cleveland or somewhere not as good, but that's willing to just pull up the Brinks truck for him. I could definitely see that. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this moves going forward. The rumor is that the Jets do not want to trade Adams. They want to re-sign him, they want to extend him. That is their plan. How hard Adams pushes will be, I think, the kind of determining factor. For the Niners, again, I know a lot of fans come up with a lot of trade packages in their brains and on Twitter and YouTube. Kyle Posey over at Niners Nation did an article about it, came up with some trade scenarios he thought would work. This was before Simone's report about the first rounder. So take it with a grain of salt. I'll link it below in the description. You guys take a look, see what you think. Like I said before, Simone said that would cost at minimum a first rounder. So I don't know if he's adjusted. Posey has adjusted his trade packages or not. It's always so hard when you read those trade packages because you, as the team that's going to get Adams, when you see someone say, oh, how about a second rounder and Tart and Pettis, yeah, I'll do that deal in a heartbeat. Like, no, yeah, sign me up. But and you think in your head like, oh yeah, that's a great package. Yeah, sign me up, right? And you don't, but yeah, it sounds good to you. You're getting the better end of the deal, so that deal sounds very reasonable, of course. So, but to the Jets, that may be a non-starter. They may not even pick up the phone. So it'll be very interesting to see how the Niners look at this first rounder. As a fan, it's tough. You look short term, but you look long term. Part of me says no. Let's keep building. We're right there. We were on the cusp of a Super Bowl. Let's keep doing, what we were doing and finish it out. But part of me also realizes that these windows open and shut, or can open and shut very quickly. We saw it with the Harbaugh days. We thought this was going to be a dynasty, and we got a Super Bowl appearance, and that was it. After that was one more championship game appearance, and that was it. We hadn't seen the playoffs until this last season, so these windows open and can close just as quickly as they open, and there is that part of me that says, jump on it. If you think Adams is the guy, kind of like Emmanuel Sanders, if you think he's the guy who puts you over the top, then you pull the trigger, and then if it costs you a first rounder, but they get you a title, I don't think many fans are going to be upset about that. Even if Adams leaves. Last time we did that, the Niners did that. Brought Deion in, or I won't say the last time, but one time it worked very well. We brought Deion in half year, and he was basically a 1 year rental, and it got us our last title. So there can be something to be said about that. The question is, I know Lynch is looking long term, not just to be good this season, but next season, season after. And the question is, do you want to grab that title now and then, be good and maybe you never get to it again? Or do you want to be that team that's constantly right at the doorstep but can't break through? And it's going to be that question. We may look back on it if they don't pull the trigger and Adams wins with someone else. Hey, should Lynch have pulled that trigger? Would it have been worth it? Hindsight's always 20/20 with these things. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do. My thoughts personally, if it was just straight up a first rounder for Adams for a 1 year rental, I would say yes, because I think this team is prepped and ready to win the Super Bowl this year. So for the 32nd pick, and that's what puts us over the top, I say yes. I don't think twice about it. That's me personally. How valuable is the 32nd pick? I I just think for a guy that talented, and with maybe maybe you catch him, you win the Super Bowl, he loves playing here. Maybe he gives you a discount. I don't, who knows? Who knows? A lot of moving parts there. Maybe you find a way to make it work. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Just kind of some crazy news. One thing, Niner faithful. The nice thing is, San Francisco, the Niners are a destination again for free agents, for top players, right? 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, not the case. Now everybody wants to come here. Draft picks want to come here. Free agents want to come here. Disgruntled, top-notch players want to come to the Niners, and that is, I think, the mark of a team that has reached that top, has reached a pinnacle. When everybody's trying to be a part of that, that tells you something. It tells you you're doing something right. When everyone wants to be at your party, obviously you're throwing the right kind of party. So that's if whether something happens or doesn't, doesn't matter. But the nice thing, though, is, we are a destination. The Niners are a destination again. And it's just kind of if nothing else, it should give, the fans and the organization a good feeling. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you want Adams? What's the highest you'll go for him in terms of maybe draft picks or a trade package? What's a deal breaker for you in terms of draft picks, or, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hit me up on Twitter, First and Faithful. Love engaging with you guys. But as always, I'm Aaron. This is First and Faithful. Thanks for watching.